So welcome everyone to Find Your Voice Workshop. We will be, and my beautiful accompaniment men here with me today, Gareth, who you probably know by now.
Hey, what's up guys? Here I am again.
Round two. And my lovely partner, Ashao. And let's just open up with a big question / taboo about our voice. There's this idea, mostly in the world, that there's like singers and then there's, I'm not a singer. And we want to talk about that a little bit. So, has anyone here ever judged their voice?
Raise your hand if you've judged your voice.
Favorably.
Yeah.
Favorably.
Let's talk a little bit about that. You know, what bothers you about your voice, or why have you judged your voice? Gareth, want to start us off?
I do. I didn't like my voice for a long time. I'm sure you've all experienced, you hit record, you listen to your talking, you're singing, and you're like, oh, and your whole body starts to tense up. And you go, is that what I really sound like? And it doesn't sound anything like the way that you speak or the way you think you hear yourself. And so there's lots of judgment, self-judgment about that. And for me, I didn't like my voice. I didn't think it was high enough. All my favorite singers were male singers that sang really high. And they're usually like, in the emo, screamo days, and they're like, yeah! And I'm like, oh man, I want to do that. And I remember I would write songs just out of my range, just trying to get it. And one good thing that came from that is you expand your range. But I was violently uncomfortable in my body the whole time I was trying to do it. Because I was trying to get to this end result of what I wanted my voice to be, of what I thought it should be. So for me, I felt very insecure that I couldn't hit these notes as effortlessly, and I wanted to emulate the people that I admired. So that's one thing that I really didn't like about my voice.
Yeah, just to echo that, I think it's interesting what you said about what I thought it was supposed to sound like. And so me, I had the opposite experience. I thought my voice was deep enough. Oh. And I remember like researching these exercises that you could do to like lay on the edge of the bed and like strengthen your neck to make your I don't even know to make your vocal cords deeper. But mainly the one that I struggled most with was feeling like self-conscious about having a lisp. And when I would speak, I didn't really think about it much, but when I heard myself being recorded, then I would, oh, yeah, I don't know. Then it kind of become self-conscious about it when I was speaking in general. And then also just singing and not feeling comfortable to really learn to sing because I'm like, oh, I'm off pitch. But then not practicing, I never really learned until I felt safe being with you, Tamarah, and just feeling like, oh, it's okay to make the wrong sounds, and you know, there is no wrong sound, realizing that it's just a spectrum, and I'm just learning to match them in unique combinations that sound interesting. And so that's been some of my things that I've been working through is sound, feeling like I didn't sound the way I was supposed to, wherever, you know, the sound police are.
And it's natural because we have a tendency to compare ourselves, because when we're little and we're growing up, we are trying to belong and be like others. And you know, I see it in my little young kids. So, you know, we compare ourselves and we want to fit in. And then if we've ever had that moment in life where it could be external, like your story.
Which we'll get to.
We can go to it now, where, you know, you may have heard someone say something, like whatever it was, or an internal story
like
that you created.
I have a memory of when I was just learning to sing, and my dad gave me some like constructive feedback, but I took it as criticism of like, oh, you're not on key or whatever. I don't remember exactly what the words were, but I remember the impression I had of like, oh, I don't sound good. I should not do this around other people.
I should be quiet.
Yeah.
Which is not a good idea.
Has anyone else judged themselves that you guys want to share here, like something specific or?
Has anyone had an experience? I always wanted to be in bands as long as I can remember. If you guys saw me yesterday, I was on stage with like everybody, and it was really fun. But I wasn't always like that. We all go through different experiences that have the potential to shut us down. Like Ashao said, I remember my dad had an experience where he tried out for choir in grade 5, and the choir teacher just said something like, "No, sorry, your song is too silly, your voice isn't good enough," or something. And my dad never sang again, ever.
Oh.
Like, completely shut down. And we all have these experiences because when we sing, we're sharing a really deep part of ourselves, whether it's refined or not. It is an expression of the essence of who we are. And it's very vulnerable. It's one of the most vulnerable things because you're judging yourself often. You're worried about other people judging your voice. Am I on pitch? Am I on rhythm? Am I remembering the lyrics? There's all these things that can stop you from feeling into it. And I remember when I got my first recording computer when I was in high school, I would just start recording all these songs. I was learning how to play guitar, having a blast. And then my mom poked her head in and she just said, similar to a show, "Hey, you're flat." And then she shut the door and I was like, I suck, oh my God. And I was just like a kid, like, playing with Legos. And then your mom comes in and it's like, "Hey, that's structurally unsound." And I'm like, why am I playing with Legos then? I suck at this. And so I started singing, I pushed my voice way down, and I started singing just in a whisper, like, "Hey, here's my songs. Don't want my mom to come in and tell me I suck." And she didn't mean that, that's the thing, but it's such a sensitive thing, like my dad getting shut down, it took me like a decade to come back to my voice. And the interesting thing about your voice is you can develop it in different ways. You can sing real soft, you can sing real loud too. You can all have all these different facets of your voice that you can explore, but the most important thing is just like when you're a kid, you just grab a crayon and start moving it on the page. You're not worried about the lines. You forget that it's an act of play, and that it's an act of fun, and it's supposed to bring joy. And the way that our society has structured itself, it's judgment. We're judging if people are good enough. We're voting people off. And it just breaks my heart because I don't believe concretely in many things, but one thing that I just live by. I teach guitar, I teach banjo, I teach singing, and it's really everyone can sing. I really believe that. I don't think anyone is tone deaf. I don't think that anyone shouldn't sing. Maybe everyone doesn't want to perform. That's okay. But when we have a song or a melody or a feeling inside of us, who's to tell you what's right or wrong? Like, that is your sacred expression.
Yeah. Well, I feel like what you said about it's an expression of your joy, and the voice is such a natural way to express that it's like everyone should sing. It's like people maybe have these associations to what singing even means, that it's the sound of expression of joy or sadness or whatever it is that's coming through you. And as children, that's such a natural expression. And often probably just like having comments that are not thought through, like the kids are playing and my daughter's singing and she's having a blast, and whenever I'm stressed out and trying to do something, I'm like, "Okay, quiet down." Yeah. And it's like, but in the child's world, they're like receiving that.
Don't express. They hear.
There's no filter of
they hear
consciously thinking like, "Oh, this is about them." They're just like receiving that impression directly. It's like, "Oh, I should stop permanently." Like,
yeah.
Yeah, for me that's been my journey, if anyone can relate with that, is really being told to be quiet a lot as a child. Be quiet, kids are quiet. And I think I was 6 when I saw Michael Jackson on TV. And my life changed in that moment. I want to do that. Sing and dance. Whatever that was. It was just this inspiration to my soul. And but I never felt like that I was allowed to express. So I think it took me longer than a decade to. I think I started dancing when I was almost 20, and then I started singing when I was 22. I really want to sing. And definitely lots of comparing my voice with what I think are singers. Oh, my voice is more like hard and it crackles and I don't have this like singer voice. I don't know. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sing for me and make it feel really good, because ultimately that's what it's all about, is enjoying the singing. And we were talking about emotions, and yes, sound moves emotion. So like we can feel it when we're sad. We get kind of soft and maybe slower, and then when we're angry and oh, hey, stop doing that, shut! We start being loud and shouty, right? And so there's, and all in between that, right? When we're in love, and it's like, oh, you look so beautiful tonight. You know, whatever it is. So one of our explorations with sound will be to like sense an emotion and then give it a sound, but your personal sound. So we're going to move into that here. Let's start with a little bit more. We'll start with some humming, because as much as there might be many people who say, I can't sing, but mostly people don't say, I can't hum. Everyone hum.
You can hum.
You just hold it longer, right?
I just want to say quickly,
yeah.
The comparison, we're going to turn that off right now. You're not going to compare to your neighbor. You're not going to listen if you're in tune with them. You're going to go into yourself and your own body. There is no wrong sound. There is no wrong movement. You can go in as deep as you want. Feel free in your expression. This is a safe space to make any kind of noise, any kind of sound that you want. It is totally safe. There is no judgment. We're all here to support. We all love the sounds that you make.
And I think what you said, Gareth, about feel into your body, that could be really helpful, where when you're making the humming sound, tuning into what does it vibrationally feel like, what does it emotionally feel like, and bringing that awareness inwards as the sound is coming through.
And really do this for you, and do this for the mother of creation that created you. Your body is a primordial instrument, organic instrument. We all of our bodies are literally instruments, acoustic instruments. We're just not made of wood and steel. We're made of ligaments and tissues. And so like a songbird, you know, we don't judge the different, you know, and then this beautiful do-do-do-do-do-do-do, right? They're all like wonderful. One's not better than the other. What a judgment that would be. So same for us, right? As we go into this, really do this for like, hey, I'm alive. Anyone who was at the death workshop, like, we're alive. Let's explore this acoustic instrument we've been given today.
Playtime. It's playtime. Not judge time.
Yeah, and then humming, you know, benefits of humming, like we get, it actually releases some awesome chemicals in our body when we hum, melatonin and oxytocin, a natural release. And oxytocin is a self-soothing hormone. It also releases nitric oxide, which means that your veins dilate so more oxygen can go through your body. Wow, more benefits to humming. And it also calms your vagus nerve. So it calms your blood pressure, right? Your whole vagus nerve gets calmed by that hum. So we're gonna just do a few rounds of humming before we go into our warm up into more sounds, yeah?
It's like soothing a child with a lullaby.
So with your own breath, your own tempo. Yes, totally. So we'll do about 5 rounds of hum. So take a deep breath and let it come out with a hum. Massaging your body from the inside. Keep humming, and sense your body now. Keep humming and sense your body. Relax relax your cheeks, your neck, your shoulders. Big belly breath. I'm going to add one more element to our hum. So just listen to me for 1 second. The thing about sound is there's sound and then there's intention. Sound and intention. And that's when it becomes sound healing, right? Like you can literally say the same words to and mean different things, right? I'm not going to use the example that just came in my head, so I'm just going to pick another one. The one's just like... Okay, well, you guys get the point. You can say the same thing with the intention of healing or to hurt, right? So we're going to make the hum again, but we're going to activate it with our love. So you can activate it with love in the sense of feeling, or if you're a visual person, you can imagine sacred geometry or an image of what love would be.
Love yourself, love your neighbor, love whoever you want.
Someone you feel cared for.
So let's drop into our body. You can close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. And connecting down into your heart, breathing through your heart.
Sometimes it helps to think of someone that you really feel love for and opens your heart. Maybe it's a family member, a child, someone who just melts you.
And let it grow. Every breath, inhale. Let the love grow, grow, grow. And keep letting it grow, breathing 360 degrees. Expanding side, side, front, back, up, down. And imagine your love is so big now. We're able to connect our love through love strings through all of each other's hearts here. And to all love on this planet. So we can create a web of love. And now you can see it go all around the planet. So as we hum, we're going to hum into those lines of love. And encapsulate, envelop the entire planet with love. Let's see if that feels any different for you. Here we go, take a breath in. when we do sound healing, the silence is important as the sound. It is what holds the sound. It's like the sound is yang and the silence is yin.
It allows the sound to seep into you and integrate it.
Mm-hmm. So, in order to really find our voice and be able to sing freely in our songs to come, we're going to let go of any potential blocks of sound. If there's any icky sounds that we feel are not perfect enough.
You too nasally? Are you judging yourself? You too low? You too high? Let it go. Now's the time.
So to open us up, we're going to start with a... So join me as you wish. You are alive now. You can also stand and do this.
Move your body however you see fit. There's no right or wrong way.
It's called the trembling horse. Get those lips going. We gotta relax your jaw in order to get your lips drooling. One more. Great. We're gonna be moving through some emotions. I'll just be saying the emotions. You get in touch with that emotion however you feel in this moment, and we'll make it to joy. So we're on a road to joy. And when I say that, I really mean to say we're on a road to joy. We're letting one channel, this vertical spinal cord with these beautiful chakras, and through this one channel, through all these organs, we get to move energy through, emotion. And if we're not moving those ones we don't want to move because they're too yucky, we're not able to move the joy either. It's the same cup, okay? You fill the same cup with the sadness, then we're going to fill it with anger, exhaustion, whatever the words will be, and then we fill the cup with joy, okay? So it's just allowing, it's a practice to let things move out of you instead of get them stuck and stagnant inside of you. So there's no judgment. It's not like, I am sad forever. No, it's just, I'm allowing sadness to move through me.
Give it a voice. Now's the time.
So let's just warm up our mouth a little bit with some consonants. M, k, b, anything goes, anything.
Vocal kung fu.
You make the vowel sound. Ooh. Ooh. Really make it with your face. Ooh. Get those muscles in there. Ooh. The lips. And now give me a big E. E. As wide as you can.
Be silly with it.
Awesome. Now we're going to move into exhaustion. Check in with your body if there's any exhaustion in your system. And let it go with those sounds that can naturally arise.
Make the sound.
Make the sound.
Exhaustion. Feeling it. As you're releasing it, feel the exhaustion.
Remember, the intention is what matters. So as you release exhaustion, let it go down through your feet to the earth. The WAH sound is literally the sound of your foundation. It's the sonic anatomy for the foundation. So wah sound is good. One more time. Wah. Let go of stress. Wah. Also, let's go of fears. Which is also fear. So I'm going to let go of, make some space for it with a mo sound. Mo. Remember to be total if you choose. We are alive now. Mo. Anxiety, nervous, stress, tension. That could be an O sound, like a uh-oh, oh, right? Uh-oh, we make that sound, uh-oh, oh, 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 oh. Yeah, anxiety is stored in your spleen pancreas, so you can let it go down. And then any anger. This is on a road to joy. This is the last one before joy. Is there any possible way I may have not expressed anger sometime? And so we'll let it come up and bubble and maybe start just like a shake. You can make a fist with your hands. Show me the big protection. Mama bear, Papa bear. This is my body. Yeah, and then let's calm that anger with a shh sound. Shh. 2 more times.
Energy drop down.
Just like you calm a crying baby, right? Down your nervous system, down your vagus nerve.
Letting the energy settle down.
And then we're gonna wonder and stay open to the possibility of having more joy available to us. Maybe more than my little personal bubble of like, I'm only happy when this and this and this and this happens. We're gonna try to expand that to this sense of universal joy where we can expand and let the joy of all things in our life. So everything. We're gonna make 3 sounds. If you choose to join me, you can also make your own. We'll make ya for the heart. We'll make an I sound for the toroidal aura around us, and then an E sound for our crown. We'll repeat that 3 times. So let's start with the heart, ya, then I, and then E. All right, here we go. Now sit or stand if you choose. Standing might help you get into this a little bit more. If anyone wants to stand up, please stand up. And feel, okay, I'm alive. All these gifts. If everyone's here in the death cafe, you know, like just really feeling this sense of, I'm alive. I'm gonna now find my key heart tone. In this moment, just this moment, what is the voice, what is the sound that wants to come through in your body? So whatever that sound is, we're just gonna all take a deep breath and make a sound of your spirit being alive right now in this body. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
feel like you got out of the judgment zone a little bit? Just making the sounds? Yeah.
Let's just let that integrate. Take some deep belly breaths. So letting the diaphragm push down. So on your inhale, your belly should expand. And on your exhale, your belly should move in. Just noticing if that's how you're breathing. Inhale, belly expand. Exhale, belly moves in. This is the proper breathing for when you're singing. Because if you do the chest breathing where you won't have enough breath in your belly. So breathing to your belly. And exhaling. When you really breathe in, suck in life force energy like a sponge. Beautiful. And the other thing that kind of matters when you're singing is your posture. I mean, you can definitely be just chilling and relaxing. And when you have a straight posture, you're able to flow more. That resonance is able to come out without any restrictions. Okay, so we're going to move into a mantra. You guys would like to sing a kirtan style mantra with me?
Yes. Here, the right response is to sing it. Yes. We're gonna sing it.
Before we do, what we just did there, was that new to anyone expressing sound like that? Put your hand up if that was like maybe weird for you or found it or new. It wasn't new for him, no. It's kind of new. Just wanting to see where people are at and if there's any shares you wanted to share.
Does anyone want to share about the experience? You can.
Anything that come up?
I find like moving the body really helps me. When Tamarah was when you were doing this, it kind of helped me express the sound. I guess when some people sing, they do move their bodies at the same time, right?
Sometimes we forget that the body is the instrument. It's not just the voice. We stand there and we go, oh, okay, time to sing.
Right. Yeah.
And forget, hey, yeah, I'm singing and I'm moving my body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Get a little sassy with it, you know?
Yeah, and for what we were just doing, the emotional sound, the movement is very, very connected, right? Because again, when someone's sad, there's a certain posture. Someone's angry, there's a certain, right? So it helps us get into it and move those emotions without the judgment, right?
I'm curious, after doing the toning and tuning in, did anyone notice a shift in their consciousness and the way that they are currently being and experiencing life? Yeah. When I allow myself to really tune in, and it can be just for when we eat meals, we yum, and it brings me present. And after just 3 yums, when I really allow myself to tune in and feel the resonance in my body, I am completely high after that. Like I had shifted in consciousness just after 3 sounds. Like that's powerful.
And it's beautiful to do right before we eat so that we're relaxed. Your vagus nerve relaxed, like I said. Those things happen when you hum. And then you're able to actually eat food in a more relaxed nervous system body and not eating when you're stressed out, stomach anxiety, right?
Not to hurry. There's always time for it. You can make time to go, yeah? You got 30 seconds.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if you feel like you don't, it means you probably need it even more.
You don't have time for 10 minutes of meditation, you need an hour.
Well said, Tasha.
And I think one more thing before we move into a little singing together is there is nobody that sounds like you. And that is like, I just really want you to own that, you know? You were created just the way you are, very special. Nobody has the same vibration as you do. So enjoy your resonance as we sing. We'll start with a Sanskrit mantra. The words are there in front. Mantra means, man means mind, and tra is through the mind. It's a method to transcend the mind. So it's a method like a meditation to utilize to transcend the mind. Now, remember there's the sound, and then there's the what?
Attention.
So the intention, what's more powerful, guys? Is it the sound or the intention? I'll let you guys think about that one. I don't have an answer. But what this means, this mantra means, is calling upon the divine feminine energy, which is Kali, to rid yourself of all negativity in the mind and body, and to be blessed to thrive. And now this is for all beings as well. So it's for you and the planet. So the intention as we're singing this, you ridding yourself of all negativity and being blessed to thrive, and imagining that for the entire planet. Now that will supercharge our mantra very differently than if we just sing the words, okay? So the words are Om Krim, guys say that with me. Om Krim Mahakali Sarvarogam Nasi.
Oh, good. I think we'll get it after the first 10.
And you want to do a mantra long enough so that, yes?
What is the full statement?
Like word for word. Like I just
Or just
calling on the divine feminine,
Yeah.
Kali, to rid ourselves of negativity in our mind and body, and to be blessed to thrive.
Beautiful. That's what
Yes. And we want to sing a kirtan or any song that with intention of sound healing, with the healing, long enough that it will make a difference, it will make a shift. Because we are kind of fighting with all of our thoughts and maybe negative thinking and all of this, external stuff. So, usually it's recommended you sing a mantra for about 15 minutes. I don't know if we'll sing this long today. We will just go with the flow. We'll go with the natural.
It's important. I just want to add that, like, when we are practicing a song, we're often judging our voice, or we're going through these. Oh, okay, I'll just do it for a minute or two. We're going to do it so long that you forget that you're singing, and then you let go of how you think you sound if you're still hanging on to that. And we're just diving into our voice, and exactly like Tamarah said, we're transcending the mind, and we're feeling into our body and feeling the joy of just singing with this beautiful intention. So that's why we do it for like 10 plus minutes.
And this is kirtan style, which means call and response. So I will sing a part of it, probably Om Krim Mahakali, and then you guys will respond Om Krim Mahakali, Sarvarogam Nasi. And it's not pre-planned. We have not really practiced anything. So we're just, this is all on the spot, very, whatever the goddess divine energy wants to bring through right now.
Clearly, I
See, we're all on the same page, all right? I'm just mic'd up, so. But I know you won't judge me because we're through that.
Exactly. So let's enjoy this. The intention is there. You can see the planet, all the people. You guys go. Om Krim with it.